All right, so the black print down below, and we're going to go over the number bet, which I couldn't translate. I often have trouble translating the remark. V'iskariya b'tikkun d'no v'nikrocha v'etzes spheres ba'ofen v'seder there chesed d'roa yamina, gvura d'roa smola, teferes gufa. A little work that we're trying to do here in the word gufa. So he says, let's go on. So he says, and then it leads up at the top of page Taf Tzadivav. So it just goes on. Whereas number bet, which I had trouble translating it, I just want to try it once more, with your patience. He said, because of the Ramak, he says on this last phrase, which is V'chashokayim, he says, Guf nikra teferes. The body is teferes. We don't have a problem with that. V'chatam, ki kamosha haguf mimena mispashat ayidayim v'haraglayim l'dalad stadim. So this we understand a body, how it is. That we have appendages attached. Kain teferes yesh do shtei zroas. V'heim gedula v'gevura, that's chesed the gevura, zu el yamen v'zu el small, v'shtei shokayim, and then you have the two legs, and that's of which are netzach and hod. V'hu meshach haguf be'emsa. So they're actually in the middle of the body. They come out from the middle of the body. I don't know if they're they're extension of the body in the middle. So since the body, there is an aver, the bein shakayim, in other words, the yisod, came to teferes nimshach b'menach yisod. Now I'm not sure what's the difference. He's talking about a human body versus, I guess, the concept of yisod and of teferes and yitzilus. Moshe haguf yesh l'mala b'menach rosh. Came to the Pharaohs, the Mala B'Mena Gimel Rishonim. So you're going to see the same thing in Etzilus. The Moshe Haguf Yesh Lo Batin. This is a little harder for me now. The body has a womb. Came Hashkina Batin the Teferes. So there's a Shkina, which we usually say is Malchus. She, little hard for me to hear. She is actually the womb of Malchus, of Teferes. V'chein Pirush Rashbi Al V'Shalom. He says B'Tikunim. He says Shkina. Batin v'guf de law amuda de emsa isa. A little bit, he says. So the first part I said was that we said that the Malchus is the womb of Zeranpin. I guess it would be that's where he did. I'm not sure. So he says shkina batin de law amuda de emsa isa is in the middle line. Hakavana el mitziyusa bebeis baila. This is her kavana in her existence in the house of her husband. Kodim hamiyot, before the miyut. Now that's got me a little stuff here. Hakavana al mitziyusa bebeis baila. So what does beis baila mean? But she's attached. I think it means that she's attached to him. Kodim and miyut, before she's separated out. They're one entity to begin with. ZOHAR v'no. V'zecha v'yuva masha kosav Rabbi Moshe b'simen b'sefer Hashem ki teferes nikra guf hashchina. So it's the guf of the shchina. Again, I think he means that's panimi to the shchina, but I'm not sure. Im ki yoshu derech. So in other places it says in the Patach Eliyahu, it says that the derech is ma. Im hi yoshu derech betam zecha b'derech acheres. So betam zeh derech acheres b'zecha d'shona gufa shkina da. So this hardest part, he says im hi yoshu derech betam zeh, and for the same reason, it seems like zeh derech acheres. This is a different. Not sure what that means. Derech. So let's quote. Gufa shchina da. When we talk about the body of the shchina, he called binyan yachad yikra shchina, because the whole structure is called the shchina. What structure are we talking about? The gamma malchus yikra shchina. Also malchus is called that. So I guess when he says the whole structure, I'm not. What could he mean? Uveinyan hatzilus yachad yachad teferes hu guf. So uveinyan hatzilus yachad hateferes hu guf v'gimel rishonos hi harosh. I've just let it stand. I don't know exactly what he means to say. And then you take that, and you take the Ezer, which is the Malchus Kenegdo, who Adam Shalom, that makes a complete man. Shen Ember Zochav in the cave of Bara, Adkan the Shono, Masha Kasav Dizal, nearly Iker Shem Divrich Rashbi, Al Shal. Now, it's very vague there. I think there's things missing, perhaps, or maybe everybody understood that automatically. I don't know. I want to get to number Daled. If what time do we have? We have 5 minutes. So let's read on, and I'll read number Daled. So Netzavachod of the train Shokim, he said, V'yisod siyum de gufa. So we just went through that in the remark a little bit, what he meant to say. Going on, he said, V'nikra os bris kodesh. He says, reading, I'm going to keep reading the live print too. He says, Ki shom chasumim, why? Because there is stamped, the chasumim Yisrael ayidech v'mitzvah samila, it's a stamp, an impression that's made in the Jew, ba'os bris im HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malchus Peh. So then we have the concept Malchus Peh. Why does Malchus and Peh go together? Malchus Nikras Peh. Now that's the one that I want to look at. Number Daled. Number Daled is down at the bottom. So he says Hatam Batam Shenekras Malchus Peh Concept Zichron Menachem. The Fisher of Malchus who pocket is appointed in Mitsuva is and commanded. And he says apparently V'chein Peh b'gematria Elokim, and I'll pass Peh with the Shorish is Gematria Elokim. So he wants to say that this idea, Pake, the Mitsuva, and Elokim are Lashon Gevura, I guess. V'kisei melech hirchi b'sodo shel davar v'zal l'shono. He says, Zer Torah shebechsav, the Zer Anpin is Torah shebechsav, and Malchus is Torah shebapeh. Malchus Zer, he ataras yisod. So let's start looking at this. Malchus and Zer, the Malchus of Zer is the Ataras Yisod. The Nukve, his female counterpart, he parts of Pnei Atzma, is a parts of by herself. So what are we saying? The Nikra of Peh, and it's called by the name Peh. The Moshe Amber Be'etz Chaim, it says of Ezechel L'shonach beer per havruch sarim. I guess it's the name of the sefer. Yuval b'masha noida ki hu hanukvach shel zer anpen hanikbas rachel b'kiyosa ach ba'ach imo. Hinech of a rosh law koya mechetzach teferes atachton shalom, which is the chazer. V'nimsa ki siyam teferes shel zer anpen shu pi ha'ama. So let's go back to zer anpen. Here she is over there on his backside. And he says, "Teferes shel zer anpin shehu pi ha'ama." That is the opening of his yisod. Shalom. Mimenu na'az pi nukva. This is the same place that the mouth of the nukva, who's going to become parts of by herself, is going to be found. Asher b'chu b'siyim rosh shalom, which is at the beginning, at the end of her head. So in other words, that her malchus is the beginning of her head. His yisod, the opening of his yisod, is the place where she grows. Later on, okay, there could be panim b'panim. He said, shir kumbazer anpin. That when we see her in the ach ba'ach position, this little heart here, he says, her head, which is at the very beginning of his very end of him, this chava atach b'bechinas is going to grow into be her feres. That place, which is originally the mouth, elyon shalom, chazer atach liyot b'bechinas piha yisod. That's going to turn into be the opening of her yisod, v'rechem shalom, and her rechem. Nimsa Yisod Shalocha B'Kavan Neged Yisod Shalo, and it comes out like that, her Yisod. So it seems like it's like if you started to blow up a balloon, is that the balloon is attached to the source of the light, which is coming out of the Pia Amma of Zeir Anpin, and it's blowing her up from that place into something much larger. That's what thinking means. So that's the reason why we had the concept of Bechila. But why? Because it's feeding her. But Torah became Lashon Dibur, also the father of speaking. B'Peh, B'Mesechlik Suvas, Perak Aleph, where it says B'Mishnah, Ro'uchon B'Deberis Echad. So this exchange, because another word for intercourse, not the sexual type, but just the intercourse, meaning talking to somebody, is also an exchange. And then it goes, this is the Gemara over there. It's Lashon Yichud. V'chein b'ksuvas perak afalpi b'mishnach v'rocheles imo l'leil Shabbos my rocheles is tashmis. And we have no time. You want to do this one little? There are 4 little lines here. Ubechida rishona k'shachoisach b'malchut dekuda tachas latachas yisod. She says that little yod is there on pen. Nisha rishima de law. So he said this is something else. There always remains a rishima of her original relationship to Zeir Anpin de law, Tamid B'Tara Shasham Piha Yisod, because that's where the Piha Yisod, that's where her start is too. The Zechav Sha'am Malchut Peh, this is the concept of Malchut is the mouth. So he said, Kamo Sha'am B'Etz Chaim, Shetamid Nisha Shorsha Be'itras Yisod, her root always remains on the male side, her root is always there. That's a very interesting thing about male-female relationships. Gam nikra peh, also that imakolo b'gematria elokem, as we said before, ad kan l'shono. Okay, that's the shir for this week. Have a wonderful weekend. Regards to the Rebbetzin and everybody else. Kol tov.